You know, someone would have told me that I've been sitting here making a video about my relationship with David and the fact that we're no longer friends anymore. I would probably laugh at you, you know, but then here we are. I'm gonna say it now, quick disclaimer. David is fully aware about what's about to go down. No hearts were broken into making it in this video. Well, I mean, except for mine. He knows what's going down. That's it. We're keeping it real 100%. Some of you noticed that me and David aren't friends anymore, and you guys have asked, what's going on between you and David? What happened? Like, where have you guys been? And it's crazy because, like, we've been friends for we've been friends for 8 years. And to go from not speaking for 3 months is kind of whacked. Wow, I can't believe this is a thing that's happening, but that's the reality of where I am at right now. Like I said, it's been 8 years. So I would describe our relationship, well, that would depend on the timeline, you know? I've been in different moods with him, and I've been in different situations with him where it's hard to put a word on our relationship. I could put plenty. Okay, 2010 to 2011, this is cute. 2011 to 2013, we got real close. 2014, 2016, we were a mess. And hot mess. 2017, 2018, destroyed. Need I say more? Like, look at us now. I know what I'm getting myself into because this could very well backfire on me. But it's more so like I am giving you my perspective of everything. It's like I'm taking a big giant step back to the past. I feel like if to understand where we are right now, I have to understand what was to now what is, to figure out what went wrong. Where did we lose ourselves? And is there a getting back to us? This is difficult for me, but I'm ready. So let's do this. David and I officially met back in 2010. I had just started back living in Coral Springs, and I started going to the high school I went to. My intention was to make no friends. I didn't want any, like, people were just like not on my radar. I just wanted to graduate, leave, done with it. But I feel like you eventually realize you can't go through life alone. People think it's easy to go at it alone. Sometimes your family isn't everything. You need people to really get into your brain and be like, yeah, I feel you on a spiritual level. But back to when I first met him. So we had a class together, but I never really talked to him. He was always in the front when I first got there. I want to say I didn't start speaking to him maybe within like the first month or so. I didn't fully meet him until I went over to another friend of mine's place at the time, because we had music class together, and she didn't want to be alone with some stranger that she literally just met not too long ago, so she invited him over. So we picked him up. I remember this. We picked him up, and literally he gets in the car with us, and the first thing he said to me, like, I swear, dramatic as all fuck. First thing he said to me was my name, and I said his name. It's almost like game recognizing game. like who are you? Talking to my friend and whatever. It was like, it was weird because from that moment, I could tell that us three, I don't know what it was, but something magical was about to go down. Eventually, as time moved on, we started talking in class. I would always be hanging out with him and some other girl, and we'd always be doing this like group projects together or whatever. Outside of class, it would be me, him, and our other friend, Maddie, at the time. And we'd be at her house. They wanted to do YouTube videos, so they found out that I did YouTube, so they wanted to get my input in it. I said, okay, sure, fine, that's fine with me. So we went over to her house, and we just started filming. Just filming anything, filming whatever. And on that day, Mega MD Productions was born.
It's Maddie! And David! And this is MD Productions! Come on, guys!
guy behind the scenes, sometimes in frame when they were doing their recordings, and I was capturing everything. I was the behind the scenes guy. I was the editor. There would be videos they would edit, and there would be videos I edit, and just like that, it was like kind of an excuse just to go over to her house and just hang out, do crazy shit, you know, and I would always remember those because those were some bomb-ass times. Second to none, those times were entertaining. Even when we were dancing in the rain and it was like thunderstorm out and we were crazy just dancing by her pool in the rain, like we cared not. Oh, wow. Us hanging out all the time, MSD, we were called back then. It was cool. It was nice to know that I had some really good friends. Like, really, really good friends at that moment. But what I wasn't expecting at all was how strong of a niche we were. Granted, I was always, like, misunderstood in a way because I never really let my true self out, in a sense, because there was always that wall up. Even though, like, I was fun, laughing, haha, but there was always me protecting me at the end of the day because in my eyes, yes, they were still strangers to me, in a way, you know what I'm saying? So I didn't fully let myself be me, but I was still there. It's almost like there was a shell of a person, but there was also life in me because those times were great. But it could have been a lot better if myself was 100% involved. We built a really tight foundation as friends, and I figured eventually the truth will come out. And I wasn't prepared for it, and I still, like, even still right now, and it's been so many years later, I'm still cringing because I wish I was more honest about who I was to my own friends. No matter if I've only known them for several months, it didn't make a difference to me. I wish that I would have just been open and honest with them. And it's so funny, even though they knew, like they knew, like no one's stupid. Like everybody knew, everybody I came into contact with knew that I was gay. There was no hiding it. But for me, I was hiding it. Is that weird? I think that's weird. I don't know. Oh my gosh. So, what would you say is my most favorite thing in the entire universe?
Harry Potter.
He knows me so well!
Without a fucking question.
Oh my gosh.
His favorite thing in the entire universe is Harry Potter.
As time went on, the armor started to break and the cracks were beginning to show. And it showed in many examples. Because, you know, I'm dumb. First of all, I fell for my best friend at the time. He was straight, he was cute, still is cute. I mean, I think, yeah, still is cute. I fell for him and that fucked me all the way up. Like, my brain was not, I was not in the right headspace. And just, like, I let my self-pity get the better of me at the time. And it messed with me physically, mentally. It messed me up so bad, I didn't even graduate on time. But I think what topped it off at that moment is because as the cracks began to show, truth started to come out. Everyone started putting pieces together by any means necessary. Whatever they had to do to find out who I was, they did so. And the people that I considered really good friends of mine basically snuffed me out of the closet without me, like, trying to have my own way about it, you know, like, for when you're coming out, it's like a process that you take for yourself. It's not something that your friends do for you, you know. It's your own journey, it's your own everything. And my friends at the time didn't let me have that. But I mean, it is what it is. We all live and we learn.
In order to be used by God, you have to really be used. You know, we always want to be used for the glorious jobs. Let God put me on the stage in front of the people in the Grammy show with a nice dress on. Let me just praise your name. But that's not being used. Sometimes in order to be used, you also have to be humiliated. You have to be humiliated sometimes.
So, I'm out. Yay. Everybody knows she feels gay. Oh OMG. Summer of 2011. I didn't graduate. I was trying to figure out what the hell I was going to do with myself for that summer because I had no job, no plans, no nothing. The one unexpected plan was I was with David throughout that entire summer. He was like, you know, like the godfather? You know, he was like my gay godfather. You know, like they were, people have their like mentor, people that they look up to. And my own friend was that for me. He was the person that I've seen his struggles he had to deal with while he was out. And it was nice to say that I had someone with me at all times. He was the first person that I really told, you know? First person that I physically came up to. And we had a lot of fun that summer.
Hi, you guys!
Okay, Shaqii, you hold it.
Okay, go.
You hold it, you hold it.
Right where my hand is. Okay, alright.
Did I get it?
Go. Hi. Hi.
So fucking stupid.
Fierce.
But then it kind of took a turn for the serious because we got closer than I ever thought possible that summer. Do the math. If I had known that making that decision would take a turn for the worst between us, I wouldn't have done it. And this began the slippery slope down between the both of us. Wait, no, not appreciate. It's, what do you admire most?
Oh, admire. Okay. Probably like your sense of freedom, you know, like you're just so like, I don't care what people think about me. I don't care, you know, like how people view me or what. I'm going to do me and I'm going to do me on my time. And I really do like that because like I'm like that now, but I wasn't like that for the longest time. And, it's a good trait to have. If you don't have that trait, you allow people to control you. And when you allow people to control you, it really like diminishes the enjoyment that you can have from life. So I really do admire that about you.
Okay, so quick recap of senior year. Senior year started. Amazing. Yay. Woohoo! Back to school. Haha. Let's do this all over again and hopefully not fuck up this time. Of course, I was completely confused about what happened over summer. Like, I just had to just go through life, deal with it. And who knows, you know? David ended up getting himself a boyfriend, I want to say maybe 2 weeks into school starting. At least it felt like 2 weeks into school starting. Yeah, fucked with my head a little bit. A lot. I tried to make sure that I didn't let it get to me, but it got to me a lot because I knew he was trouble. I knew that guy was trouble. I felt it. But I only just did what was best for David because, of course, David's my friend. Why not? You know what I mean? So I had to put his needs first before myself in a way. And now that I think about it, bad idea. But I think it got a little bit like too much, way too much between the both of us. And I think as the year went on, something happened. We stopped talking for a while. I want to say a good month before we graduated. I was trying to focus on me while we didn't speak. And I made sure I got my grades up. I made sure that I was walking on that stage. But I still was concerned about him because I know he was in deep shit around that time as well too. We both basically made it by the inch of our fucking hairs. And I was happy. And we started talking again a week before we graduated. Okay, so let's speed up the timeline here a little bit, shall we? Okay, out of school. Now we're in the real world now. A lot of things in my life started to change rapidly. Like, I got a job, I want to say a week after I got out of school. Me being able to hang out with my friends every single day, every single weekend was not going to be the case anymore. You know, because now it was time to man up, get a job, do things, you know, make moves. I fell into the family business. And still in the family business, even though it's been years, still here. No regrets though. It's brought a lot of experience, training, everything that I need, that I can fall back on anytime I want. But a lot of my personal life started to really get fucked with. I ended up moving away from the city I was in to a whole new city. I moved north, away from all of that, and away from all of all the drama, everything. I moved away from it all. Granted, it wasn't by choice, but in the long run, I kind of understood why it happened. Maybe that was a lesson that I needed to learn later down in life. And I think I understand it now more than I did when it happened. I think it allowed me to grow as a human being, mentally, sometimes, maybe, sort of. I don't know. But I was acting differently. I was seeing life very differently than my friends were. In a way, sort of, kind of, maybe. But with friendships, of course, distance is a bitch. And me moving away and leaving David behind, that didn't help our relationship at all. I would only see him maybe out of the weekends, maybe a month or so, you know, and I would do my whole surprise times where I would just pop up and he wouldn't know. And those were fun for a little bit. But then I think it started to get worse because he was going through his own issues as well too. And then he ended up moving away a lot further. He moved states. So us trying to do this whole be friends thing, like keep that friendship tight, like it was a lot harder. Me being in Florida, him being in Michigan. That was just like, oh my God, this is just, it was hard because I didn't have my best friend anymore. You know? Granted, he was a phone call away, but it was still difficult. And then, yeah, I would see him on and off during, you know, he would come down here if he just wanted to get away. He came down once, and then I convinced him to start coming to Playlist Live with me, and he came. He loved it. It was a tradition at that point. He came every single playlist I've ever been to. He's always been there. I'm so excited. I'm so excited that he's here right now. You'll be fine.
I'm being smothered.
Then I asked him if he wanted to come to Cali with me, and he said sure. So we've done things while he was away from me. And yeah, the tightness was still there, but there were still cracks in it. And between all those times, so many things have happened. A lot happened in those gaps. It felt like he was only away for a year. But when I really think about it, and I really honestly realized he was gone for 4. He was gone for 4 years. Like, completely whole different lifestyle, whole different area, like everything to him. He was experiencing life differently than I was. And of course, with distance comes change, and our mental state switches. We learn different ways how to communicate, how to deal with people, you know, and also we find new loves for things. I was growing up, he was growing up, we were both turning into different people. The tight niche that we had, it was there, but I think it was starting to fade a little bit. Yeah, I don't think I would actually, I never said that out loud before. I honestly think us not being together like we were, it did change a lot of things between the both of us. Which is fine. People, you know, people grow apart. They do. And we have to just accept that. But I just couldn't accept that with him, because you go from having someone that's so close to you and then it's like they're not there anymore. I can imagine he felt the same way when I left. But it was hard. Him coming and then him going was always difficult for me. He just didn't know how difficult.
You know, love is an incredible thing, and we don't know love like we should. We always talk about, I have unconditional love. Unconditional love is, we don't even know it, because if a person stops stimulating us, we stop loving them. You're not interesting to talk to anymore. Goodbye. But that real love that sometimes is difficult to have, that's that love. And that's a confidence builder.
Within that time of him being away, what happened? We went on vacation together. He's come down back to Florida for Playlist Live. We started a collab channel called My G.B.F. Spoiler, that's part 2. And that doesn't mean that us being away didn't have any problems. There were still problems. We still had our little whatever, a little tit for tat. There would be disagreements that were had, fights that were had. But I feel like in any friendship, you know, that happens. I could touch on every single thing that happened between us within the 4 years he was away, but this is like a 3-part series and it's not an 8-part series, and I don't think I have the mental capacity for all that. Like, no. Let's just say we've taken different roads in life while he was away. And I thought that us coming back together again would probably help that. And I was wrong. He announced at the beginning of the year in 2018 that he'll be coming back, moving to Florida because he was at his happiest here. And when I tell you, I was so happy when he wanted to move back. I said, yes, fuck yes, come back. I miss you lots. I miss you terribly. You know, this would be good for us. It was fantastic when he first moved back here. When I would come down and I would be with my mom at her place, he would come over, we would just hang out. Granted, I mean, it would just be us at that time when he first came back. But those times I cherished a lot because he's been away for so long. It was nice just to have him all to myself again. Is that weird? I don't think so. He introduced me to British tea and I've been drinking it ever since. I will always enjoy those cups of tea at night when he would come to my house. Oh my god, and then having him on live broadcast too, like, those moments I would always cherish because they were fun moments.
I'm sorry, I like the free Shavaka do one. Look at his Bitmoji. That is him. That's gotta be.
Okay, well just, yeah.
Oh, but you didn't want to add me, Meerkat?
Somebody cares about you, dude. I'm sorry. I guess. Nobody said anything.
Oh, I wigged. Yeah. I de-wigged myself.
Bitch, right. OMG, Max!
This first one came in clutch as fuck.
Thank you. Oh my god, that was actually perfectly timed. I finally thought that all of that stuff was behind us. But that wasn't even the case at all. He doesn't know that because I never said it before. But every single time he thought that if I was acting weird and I wasn't, it would then make me act weird, and it would just make the whole time together just very, very interestingly tense, because I got the reputation of saying something, but it would be taken the wrong way, which, I mean, I am a firm believer. If I say something to you, you take it the wrong way, I'm sorry, that's not even how it was meant to be. But I'm also a believer that you can say things, but in a way that it doesn't come across that way. But then again, that could be flipped, because people will still take what you say however they want, and it's so sad. In the time span of him moving back to Florida, of course he had his own plans, he's doing his own thing. So of course I wasn't trying to be all up in the spot as much. Even though I'm the best friend, you still want to make sure that people have their own lives at the end of the day. I wasn't trying to be up his ass. Like, it's to be expected that his boyfriend that he's dating, they would start living together, which they started. When he moved here, I want to say it was a few months, his boyfriend came down here and moved in with him. And right now they're doing the live-in boyfriend thing, which is lovely because most people cannot do that shit. So kudos to y'all, because I would go nuts. I feel like I would go nuts anyway. Then again, I'd get sex every day. But I mean, so I guess it's a win-win situation. Plus, it gives you a good lesson as to, can I handle it? Can I live with someone that's my significant other? Like, can we do this so early on in our relationship? That caused a lot of tense moments, I think, between us, because, like, I'm not gonna lie, my heart did jump a little bit, given the whole situation. But I feel like that's to be expected, you know? When one person falls for another and they don't get what they want in return, they end up feeling the short end of the stick a little bit. So that was me. I had to deal with that. Yay. So it is what it is. But I wasn't trying to let it get to me 100%. So when I would hear an assumption that the reason I'm acting this way is because of this, it just made me feel some type of way. So whenever I would feel weird, of course, a lot of weird situations, a lot of weird tense situations would occur. And, like, I've always tried my best not to let things bother me. But it's like, this bitch, see this? it's like I can't control it. It's like my face gives away that I'm pissed off or I'm angry. And it wasn't even towards them two in general, really. I could care less that they're together. Great, good for them. But what got me is that the conclusion that the reason I'm feeling the way I'm feeling, or the reason the face is there, is because of such. It's because of y'all two. Like, I could care less. Y'all be together, be happy, be merry, have kids, have babies. I give no fuck. Being around, me probably saying something, it'll be taken some type of way. Like, I remember I was over at his house, went down for a weekend, because he asked me, do you want to come down and let's hang out? I said, sure, what? Fuck no, I'll totally come. I have nothing going on. So, me spending the night at his house was probably one of the weirdest nights ever. Because I was just happy-go-lucky. Like, I was just doing my thing. I got there, I found a place to sleep. It is what it is. But it's almost like whatever I would say, it would just be taken wrong. And that wasn't even the case for me, because I was just trying to do my own thing. Now, this is in no way bashing him or anything, but with the whole situation, given what happened between him and I, it's almost like whatever situation happens, it would always just revert back to that. And it would just be so annoying for me. Because half the time, I'm not even thinking about it. The only time I would think about what happened is if he brings it up. Maybe there was a part of him that still felt some type of way about it. Because I had my feelings about the situation. But I didn't want it to affect me in his relationship. But I feel like that was just a given anyway, given the whole topic in general. We had a talk after that weekend it happened. We said we're just going to try to be better as friends. We want to work this out. We want to get back to the way we were. And I fully believed everything. I said what I said, and I really felt strongly about what I was saying, because I was tired of how we were at the moment. But then we went up to my friend's house to see my godson and his mother, but the only time him and I communicated was when we went outside to fetch her mail and when we were playing Pokemon Go. Literally, the only time there was ever communication happened. Like, any type of communication that was had, that was the only time we did it. And then I had to take a step back. I had to be like, really? This is the only time you and I have anything to say is over Pokemon Go? A myriad of experiences have brought us to where we are at the moment. Communication is a very big thing for me. And that weekend, I made the decision. This was all me. I made the decision to stop being friends with him on Sunday when we left on the way home in the car, in the back seat. I said that enough is enough. I can't do this no more. Because you get to a point where you think, okay, it's either going to be you or me. And at the end of the day, I would choose me over you, because I've chosen you over me several times in our friendship. And I figured right now, where I'm at, in order for my brain to handle us and to handle what's going on, I need to take a step back and focus on myself for a minute. As hard as it is, I needed to give myself a breather. I needed to really evaluate, what is it about him that I enjoy? Is it really worth this? Is it really worth the drama? Is it really worth the stress that I put on me in a way? Because I'm an emotional human being. Lately, he wasn't one. And it was very apparent to me. Now, he knows how I felt about him not really being emotional towards certain things. Like, I'm a wuss that way, but he was never that. He was always hard. Well, not always. I think it's something that happened that probably hardened him, but it changed him. And I noticed the change for a while, but I didn't know how to really cope with it, because at the end of the day, who am I to say you can't be this? You need to be the person I want you to be. That's not right. So I had to take everything into account. All the years that we've been friends, all the drama, all the bullshit. And I had to make a choice. It wasn't the happiest choice I made, but something had to give. And that's what happened. That's what I did. I think his willingness to do whatever the heck he wants to do as well, but still be who he is at the end of the day is what I admire most about you. And I will never ever changed. So, and also whenever I tend to piss him off, he just tends to put me in my place and tell me it's okay.
Throw things at
And then
him
he'd throw things at me, and then I appreciate that because he's just such a lovely person.
Especially when I throw things at you.
Especially when you throw.
Okay, I will continue to throw things at you then.
Okay, that's
I'll
fine.
make it a regular event.
Yes, that's fine.
Great. Someone get me a shoe.
Oh my god. It's been a very difficult 3 months because I didn't have him by my side at all. You go 8 years to not speaking for 3 months. It's crazy. But I think I've been strong since I haven't been in contact with him, like contact, because he's seen me, I think, a total amount of 3 times since we haven't really spoken like that. I've been in front of him 3 times, like I said. I've accidentally called him twice. Or maybe 3 times. I think 3 times I accidentally called him. Hung up right away because I'm like, oh, no, my god. I'm the type of person where I can't tell people who not to hang out with. You know what I mean? I can't tell the girls to say, no, you guys are not allowed to be friends with him. You're not allowed. You know, I can't tell them not to do that.
Hey David, what's T?
Comes after S. How the fuck am I supposed to know? I had to think about it too.
Oh dear. I can't say, hey, this is, like, we're not friends anymore. You're not allowed to hang out with him. You make your own decisions. You make your own choices. So us hanging out, I kind of feel bad in a way because I knew they're supposed to be hanging out with him as well too. And the reason they're not hanging out with him is because of myself.
Who was looking at themselves yesterday?
Shut up.
Okay.
I don't want to talk about it.
Okay.
So of course, while hanging out, you know, like I would say, just tell him to come over. Like, what's the big deal? I mean, I kind of feel like shit in a way, but I get to hang out with you guys and he can't. So he came over and it was good. And it was like, we had fun. And it was just weird because I haven't seen or spoken to him in months. And just to play heads up, like, and just everything just be great. It was so weird. And I
Ron Weasley's brother.
It's the oldest Weasley.
oh fuck me. Bill Weasley. Bill is the oldest one. He's not the oldest.
Okay, Ron's brother. Sorry, I apologize.
There are 4 Weasleys. You need to realize.
You just said it.
No, I
The
didn't.
oldest
Blank
one.
Jackson.
Oh.
Okay, next.
He
Pass.
was also a train.
Oh, okay.
Oh, this is what Hermione
If I could-
wore
If
around her neck.
Around to the time turner.
Okay, the main
The main
character.
character.
Harry
What
Potter.
is the movie? Harry Potter and the. Oh
Nice.
wait, I can't.
Goblet
do
of
that.
Fire.
That's the last one.
Oh my fucking god.
This
Oh,
one
the
lights
one
up
with
a
the
room.
light. When you do this on the game.
It lights up a room.
Right?
Fucking right.
The happiest human.
These books are not allowed for just that.
I had a minute, I think, a good minute, and I thought maybe this isn't the best idea to do this series. But I feel like he didn't have closure and neither did I, so this was my way of doing it and getting it in a way. I don't know what's gonna happen between him and I, but I know right now we're not speaking. It's like a weird driving force that's like forcing me back to him, and I don't know why. Who accidentally calls someone 3 times, really? Like, I don't know. So I don't know what's gonna happen. I guess we'll just have to wait and see what happens. So after all of that, going back, reliving everything. I'm sitting here in my room. This that he gave me. And I'm not, okay, there's no regret. There's no regret at all. It's just like, I wish that this didn't have to happen. But at the end of the day, that's just the way life is, I guess. But who knows what's gonna happen. But right now, where I'm at and where he's at, I don't know if it's for the best, but I just think where we are right now, I don't know. I'm not sure. We'll just have to wait and see how this plays out. I do miss him though. I miss those fun moments that we've had, and I do miss it all. So, I guess time will just have to tell.